Hey everybody, welcome back to the Indecisive Collector. My name is Nancy and today I'm going to be showing you all how to make your own reversible dice bag under $10. So I've been wanting to make myself a dice bag for a while now. I made two really nice ones a while back, but I wanted to make a little cheaper one for me because I don't really care what mine looks like as long as I can afford to make it. A lot of the dice bags I was seeing when I was going to other stores were a little expensive and they didn't feel too great or look too great, so today I'm just going to be using some back quarters, as you see here, the Star Wars pattern one I have, but I'm not going to be using that pattern. I'm going to be using a black and white one, but that is an example of the size I'm going to be using. You can get those for about $1 each at Walmart, and that's where I got mine, and I feel like it's a really good price because for $2 you get all the fabric you need to make two reversible dice bags. And there's my kitten Anra. She wants to be a part of this whole video. She's adorable. I'm going to be using two black and white fabrics, so I'm going to be using two different spools of thread. For the white fabric, I'm going to be using white thread, and for the black fabric, I'm going to be using black thread. You don't exactly need any of those specific colored threads. It just blends a lot nicer with what you're making. So what I did was I opened up the fabric and I folded it in half, and then I folded that in half again until it came about this longish piece that I cut in two, just like that, and then I cut it down the middle, and then what I had was a long piece left over which I cut down the middle again, and that gave me 4 pieces of fabric for about $2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black thread and I'm going to use it with my black fabric right now. I'm threading the needle, and what I'm going to do is I am going to sew 2 of the longest sides and 1 of the shorter sides and leave 1 short side on the top open because that's going to be the open part of the pouch. And I'm going to do this with both of the bags, and it's going to look a little weird at first because it's just going to look like 2 separate pouches, but in a little bit you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright guys, now that I have both pouches all sewed up and ready, what you see here is I'm going to take the bag that I want on the inside so that when I reverse it, there's going to be one that you can tell is the inside part and one is the outside. I want the white part on the inside, so I'm going to fold it a little bit so it'll fit, and I am going to stuff it inside, but I'm going to have the picture facing inward because when you turn it inside out, that's going to be facing outward. See? And what I have to do now is I'm going to fold each end in so that both ends are facing each other picture-wise, just like that. And I'm going to sew all along the entire bag so that it has a seam so that it could stay put, and then we'll be adding the string soon enough. And right here, all I'm doing is testing out the bag now that I've sewn all around the entire rim of it, and I want to see what it looks like. As you can see, I tried to sew as close to the top as I possibly could so that when I turn it inside out, you can barely see that seam. It's not too big of a problem right now. I just want to leave as much bag as possible because I am going to have to fold it again when I put the string. I've decided that I want the black on the outside, like I said earlier, and the white on the inside. So when I fold it over to make a seam for the bag, I'm going to be folding it so the black overlaps onto the white, and I'm going to have to cover that little part up because you are going to see a seam, but it is going to be reversible. That means when you turn it inside out, even though you're going to see that seam, you're going to see mostly a picture instead and looking like at the inside of a bag. The string you see here, I actually got at Walmart for $2.50, and it is pure cotton string. They did have nicer string and ribbon, but I didn't want to try ribbon and then it doesn't pull the way it should, or it's not sturdy enough. I really like this string because it feels nice and tough. I put a knot at the end there because it does come apart if there's nothing closing it off. So I knotted it at the end so the whole string wouldn't fall apart. So that's what I'm going to do. I am measuring right now to make sure that it goes all the way around the bag because you want it to be sticking out just a little bit because that's what you're going to use to pull so the bag can close. Once we have the string measured, we are going to fold in the part that we're going to put the string underneath, just like that, so you can see how much room we have. I'm using a thinner string. You could use a thicker one. It's up to you. But I wanted something thin so I would still have a lot of bag left over, and I'm going to trim at the seam a little bit. You can sew that up to make it look a little prettier, but since this bag is just for me, I don't really care. I am cutting enough at the seam so that it fits just perfectly the string on the inside and you have enough room to sew, but you're not accidentally sewing the string to the bag, which has happened to me before in the past and it is not fun to deal with. I do not like encountering that problem, so I like to give myself a little bit of extra room of the fabric so that I can sew it nicely without having to worry too much. And I am starting my first stitch underneath the flap so that nobody sees the little knot that you do with the thread, because it's always a nice way to make your bag look a little bit more professional. And remember guys, we're doing all this for under $5 depending on the thread you buy, but it could be under $10 if you want specific colors of thread, depending on if you want to get more fabric. But these are just the fat quarters that you see at Walmart that are spares and that you can pick up for about $1 a piece. So $2 for the string and $2 for both of the different fabrics of the fat quarters. And I did splurge a little bit on the thread, and that came out to $2 each on those as well. Alright guys, so what you're seeing here is I'm finishing up, excuse me, I'm finishing up the last stitch for the first go around. I do want to go back around again, but I'm not going to show that because it's going to get really repetitive and boring. But if you were paying attention earlier when I was sewing the squares for the bag, I did double stitch. That means I went around once and then went back around, and you want to do that again with this. But this is basically it, guys. You've made your own dice bag for under $10 to $5 depending on the materials you want to buy. If you're buying the cheaper end of the materials, it should only cost under $5. If you want to make this for somebody special in your life who's really into different board games, D&D, I like Pokemon too, so I have a few dice for that, for damage counters. So it's really up to you, or you could just have it as a small little pouch for you to carry around if you want. You can add a zipper instead of a string, but that's up to you. And this is how I made my inexpensive dice bag. I really love it, and it's reversible. I think it's so cool. At the end of this video, you will be seeing pictures of it with some of my actual dice that I have. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you want more like this, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day, everyone. Bye!